Visualize that.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to have fun at? What do you want to enjoy? Then we can back into it and come up with that savings plan that helps get you there.
Bienvenida al podcast del Grupo Luis.
It's pretty impressive.
I did minor in Spanish in college.
Happy Fiesta.
Happy Fiesta.
Yeah.
We thought, the last podcast we did was kind of depressing. We talked about the eclipse and all the bad things that can happen, but this week we thought we'd keep it a little bit more festive since it is Fiesta here in San Antonio. I know some of our viewers aren't here in San Antonio, but it's a humongous fiesta that happens every single year. I think it's 9 days long. Lots of huge parties and events on the river.
Probably too long.
Yeah, probably too long.
Yeah.
But it's really awesome. We have pins and stuff like that. It's very, very popular.
Festive attire.
Festive attire. And we try to have a good time. So this week we're going to talk about a little bit more upbeat things, some good things that can happen with preparation and some maybe without, some just maybe a windfall of cash or inheritance or winning the lottery, stuff like that. And what really goes into managing that if it were to happen, right? Getting a huge chunk of change is a great thing, but it's not always beneficial in the long term. You hear about all these lottery winners or heirs to big fortunes that get all this money and then within a few years it's gone.
Yeah.
Not only for their own decisions, but people take advantage of them. They don't structure things correctly. Taxes eat them up, whatever the situation is. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You could maybe get a windfall from the sale of a business.
Yep. In retirement.
Or just finally achieving your retirement age and goal, and all these years of savings finally come to fruition, and you get to enjoy your years after that. So you need to start kind of even visualizing way before that what you want that to look like, because it might make that saving a little more bearable when you think about all this money you're putting away and you're not enjoying it right now. Just visualize what you want retirement to look like. But then you got to go and prepare for the other people that want your money and do the planning around that. So obviously Uncle Sam wants your money. And so you got to prepare for how to distribute those retirement savings or that windfall and protect it as much from taxes, or the people that want to take it other ways, like through liability concerns. So you want to protect your money from that as much as possible. And then just figure out how to position your money so your income comes out efficiently, you've got the proper liquidity, and that you're taking all the issues into consideration.
Yep. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think one of the good things I've heard recently was, your whole life you hear about budgeting, which we talked about in the last podcast, but planning for retirement, it's almost like you're doing the opposite. You're creating your spending plan, right? You budgeted and you saved all these years, but now it's like, well, it's time to spend some of that. It's retirement, so let's plan on how we're going to spend it. So what you want to do, in my opinion, right, always varies, but a lot of times I tell my clients to look at not how much money you want to have, but more look at what do I want to be doing with my retirement? How do I want my life to look? What standard of living do I want to live at? Where do I want to live? What do I want to do? Do I want to travel? Do I want to golf? Do I want to just sit on the couch? And if you tell me all that, we can plan for everything else. But you can't just come in here and say, well, how much do I need for retirement?
Exactly.
Because I don't know. You tell me every dollar you're going to spend the rest of your life, and I could tell you. But it's a lot easier to kind of back into the question with all that information versus just you need $5 million. No, we can't do that.
And that becomes stressful too. I think, again, when we get back with our clients and we say, well, what do you see retirement being? Visualize that.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to have fun at? What do you want to enjoy?
Yeah.
Then we can back into it and come up with that savings plan that helps get you there. Or not, depending on how seriously you want to take it. It's kind of like a diet plan, right? You have a goal weight. You put a plan together, and then, after a while, you fall off the wagon, and it doesn't achieve. So, yeah, we got to think about those things, and you got to put together your team as well. Your team would be your attorney, your CPA, your financial advisor, your significant other, right? You got to make sure you take them into account as well. And then make sure that team is communicating together on a regular basis, too. A lot of times when we're doing financial plans for people, one of the two in the relationship are on top of it and always there. And that's normal because you have different jobs for each individual. This member of the family likes to do this. This member of the family likes to do this. But it's important for both of them to be involved in the conversation, because that what if somebody isn't always going to be there? And they have to have buy-in. They have, it has to be a mutual agreement in this planning.
Yep. Well, also just communicating those kinds of things that are in place and how they're structured, because I've had probably 3 calls in the last month or so where it was like, my significant other is divorcing me. My significant other is...
Hey, wait a minute. We're supposed to stay on
morbid.
positive stuff.
Sorry.
It's Fiesta, remember?
But communicate the plans, communicate the financial situation. But going back to getting the big asset sales of businesses, winning the lottery, whatever, the key things that I think about, and I'm sure you have your thoughts as well, are, asset protection, creditor protection, right? Because lawsuits might come out of the woodworks once people start to hear, hey, Bob down the street just got $4 million. Why can't I get some of that? So creditor protection, what you were talking about, tax protection, and just making sure you're preserving those assets and maybe not always chasing those amazing gains, but also taking into account those years where the returns won't be there, right? So that controlling that volatility, keeping things consistent with your plans. And
another famous saying is, when you get there, you're not so much concerned about the return on your money, but the return of your money. So hopefully you made it in time for San Antonio's Fiesta. If not, we'll celebrate for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a great time. But, if you have questions or concerns with some of the things that we talk about, because I hear them pretty often, please feel free to reach out. Yeah, I think that's a great place to close this up. Any
That's a
other
wrap.
thoughts or opinions?
I think that's what they say. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.